There was a man named Nick Carraway. Nick was an honest, hard-working man who had just moved to a new place called West Egg. West Egg was near a big city, full of lights and noise. Nick liked his new home, but he felt a little lonely because he didn't know anyone there. Next to Nick's house was a very large and fancy house. The house belonged to a man named Gatsby. Gatsby was a mysterious man. Nick didn't know much about him, but he often saw lights coming from Gatsby's house late at night. He also heard music and laughter. Gatsby was famous for his big parties. People from all over the city came to Gatsby's parties. They danced, ate delicious food, and had a good time. But Nick had never been to one of these parties. One day, Nick received a beautiful, handwritten invitation from Gatsby. The invitation was for a party at Gatsby's house. Nick was surprised. He didn't know Gatsby well, but he decided to go to the party. He was curious about Gatsby and his luxurious lifestyle. At the party, Nick finally met Gatsby. Gatsby was a handsome man with a charming smile. He was dressed in a fine suit and looked like a movie star. Gatsby was very friendly to Nick. He said, "I'm glad you could make it, old sport." That's how Gatsby called his friends, old sport. Nick also had a cousin named Daisy. Daisy was a beautiful woman with a soft voice. She was married to a man named Tom Buchanan. Tom was a strong, athletic man, but he was not a good husband. He didn't treat Daisy with respect. He even had a girlfriend named Myrtle. Gatsby knew Daisy from a long time ago. He had been in love with her since they met when they were young, but Daisy was now married to Tom, and Gatsby was heartbroken. He had been hoping that Daisy would come to one of his parties, see how successful he had become, and fall in love with him again. One day, Gatsby decided to tell Nick about his feelings for Daisy. He said, "I've always loved Daisy, old sport. I throw these parties hoping she'll come." Nick was surprised to hear this. He felt sorry for Gatsby. He knew that Gatsby was a good man who deserved to be happy. Nick decided to help Gatsby. He invited Daisy over to his house for tea. He didn't tell Daisy that Gatsby would be there too. When Daisy arrived and saw Gatsby, she was shocked. But as they started talking, it seemed like old feelings were rekindling. Gatsby wanted to show Daisy that he was worthy of her love. He showed her his big house, his beautiful garden, and all his expensive clothes. He hoped that Daisy would be impressed and choose him over Tom, but things didn't go as planned. Tom began to suspect that Daisy was hiding something. One day, he confronted Daisy and Gatsby. He said, "Is there something going on between you two?" Daisy didn't know what to say. She was torn between her husband and her old love. Things became more complicated when Daisy accidentally hit and killed Tom's girlfriend Myrtle with Gatsby's car. Gatsby, being the noble man he was, decided to take the blame to protect Daisy. But this led to a tragic end. Myrtle's brother, seeking revenge, ended up killing Gatsby. When Nick found out, he was devastated. He was the only one who truly knew and understood Gatsby. He knew that beneath the parties and the glamour, Gatsby was just a man in love, hoping to relive his past. Great Gatsby is a story of love, dreams, and the harsh reality of life. It shows us that not everything that glitters is gold, and that we cannot repeat the past, no matter how much we yearn for it.